Okay, hi everybody. We are going to be looking at our new section from the book called Making Connections. Chapter 1, Topic 1 is Finding Main Ideas. And this may sound really easy. It is to some extent. Sometimes it's really easy if the answer is obvious, but oftentimes, especially in upper level, college level textbooks, the main idea isn't as cut and dried. It's not always the first sentence of your paragraph. And so I want to teach you skills that you'll need to know as your textbooks start getting harder to read. So first thing, whenever you're trying to find the main idea, you are going to be looking for two different questions. And the two questions that are going to help you find the main idea. First of all, what is this paragraph about? And what is the author trying to tell me about the topic? What is it about? What's the author trying to tell me? Those are the things that you are going to constantly be asking yourself, those two questions. So let's look. The answer is usually stated in the beginning or in a sentence. If I give you the following information, red, blue, green, white, purple, what do you think the topic is? Obviously, it's colors. The problem is some categories, like paragraphs, are not as easy as just a simple list. So we're going to practice again. If I give you the following, cars, trucks, school bands, bulls, devils, rhinoceroses. Is it vehicles? Is it transportation? Is it animals? I actually want you to try and figure out what you think it is. I'll go back to the list. Cars, trucks, school bands, bulls, devils, rhinoceroses. Answer, things with horns. So sometimes you have to think outside the box a little bit. Let's keep going. Let's do another one. Accountant, financial analyst, store manager, account manager. Think about that for just a minute. Answer, jobs for business majors. Next one. Slavery, states' rights, Confederacy and Union, secession of states. What is this paragraph about? Issues in the Civil War would be the correct answer. I hope you're getting them. What is this paragraph about? Deep breathing, meditation, laughter, serenity, break, sleep, crying. Answer is methods of reducing stress. And yes, crying helps. So, you're looking for clues, you're looking for words, you're looking for a sentence that will help you to understand what the main topic of that paragraph is. So, after determining the topic, you need to ask the second question. What is the author telling me about the topic? And so, if you think from the author's perspective, if you've got all this information, you've done this big research, you've devoted your entire life to researching the Civil War or whatever the topic is, and you need to write a paragraph or a page or a paper or something, the author, as an author, you've got all this research and you always have to ask yourself, what do I want to write about this topic? And as the receiver of that information, you're asking yourself, what is the author telling me about this topic? So, unlike the 1 to 3 word answer, what is this paragraph about? The answer to what is the author telling me about this topic should be as close to a complete sentence as you can make it. For example, dogs are easy pets to choose if you know the right steps. That is the full topic sentence. So I want you to read this. And I'm going to have you read it, and then I'll go to the next slide. Here's the next one. Continue. All right. We're going to look at each sentence individually and talk a little bit about it. So the first sentence was businesses access both internal and external sources to find qualified candidates for specific jobs. Internal means within the company already, somebody who already works there. External, EX is the prefix for that, means outside the company coming in. So sentence one is about businesses searching internally and externally for new employees. Sentence 2, policies of hiring from within emphasize internal sources so that employers consider their own employees first for job openings. So sentence 2 obviously is about searching internally. Companies certainly would want to do that first. The third sentence, internal recruiting is less expensive than external methods and it helps boost employee morale. Talking about a couple of things here. Internal recruiting is less expensive than external methods. It's easier and less expensive to find somebody who already works for your company, already understands the culture of your company, already is known to be a good fit for your company. And if employees think that they have a chance of being perhaps promoted, that increases employee morale, M-O-R-A-L-E. Morale means like their happiness about being there. If their morale is low, if you've ever worked for a company where the boss was terrible and everybody hated working there, then you might have low morale. Okay. The next one, but if recruiters can find no qualified internal candidate, they must look for people outside the organization. Okay, here's that transition sentence to talk about external sources, people coming in from outside of the company. The next 5, it talks about external searching. Recruitment from external sources involves advertising online and in newspapers or trade magazines, placing radio and TV ads, and working through employment agencies, college recruiting and internship offices, job fairs, and state and private employment agencies. Good sites to go on would be monster.com or indeed.com because they have a whole lot of different jobs. So most of the recruiting takes place online. So that's about external searching. So because the paragraph was about both internal and external sources, the best main idea sentence is the very first one because it includes both supporting details. So businesses usually encourage internal hiring and managers look externally if no internal candidates are qualified. All right, we're going to go to placement of the main idea sentence. Oftentimes, they'll write the main idea somewhere in the paragraph for you, and that's when you've got a direct main idea to go from. Sometimes authors aren't that straightforward, and so the most common place is going to be at the beginning or near the beginning of a paragraph. An example is President Lincoln had a wonderful sense of humor on which he relied when the burdens of office became heavy. He especially enjoyed laughing at himself. A political enemy once called the homely-looking Lincoln a two-faced man, and Lincoln replied, "Now I leave it to my audience. If I had another face, do you think I would wear this one?" So that very first sentence is definitely the main idea sentence. The rest of it is examples, and just fleshing that out a little more. If you don't find the main idea at the beginning of the paragraph, sometimes you're going to find it at the very end. It permits the author to really summarize what they've already said. So an example, fearing defeat during the Civil War, the Republican Party executed a clever maneuver. Joining with the war Democrats, it proclaimed itself to be the Union Party. Thus, the Republican Party passed temporarily out of existence. Okay, and so that one kind of builds to a topic sentence about how the Republican Party passed temporarily out of existence. We go to the next one. The main idea sentence can also be found, honestly, in the middle of a paragraph. They might lead up to the main idea with details and then continue with more details. So don't be afraid to combine a couple of sentences that you see perhaps in the middle of a paragraph. And this is also a paragraph about the Civil War. General Burnside at Chancellorsville, Virginia, and the victory was probably Lee's most brilliant, but it was dearly bought, so they lost a lot of people. But if you want to read that paragraph, go ahead. So, determining implied main idea sentences. This is a tough one. Sometimes authors, especially of upper level textbooks, aren't so clear at putting a sentence that really reflects the main idea in the beginning or the end or somewhere in the middle. Sometimes they leave it to you to figure it out yourself, and this is really hard. And that's where those two questions again come into play. What is the topic? It's like you're playing that game with yourself. What is the topic? And what is the author telling me about the topic? And you honestly have to come up with your very own topic sentence. So, with that being said, a tiny Union ironclad, the Monitor, built in about 100 days, arrived on the scene in the nick of time. For 4 hours on March 9th, 1862, the little Yankee cheese box on a raft fought the wheezy Merrimac to a standstill. Britain and France had already built several powerful ironclads, but the first battle testing of these new ships heralded the doom of wooden warships. A few months after the historic battle, the Confederates destroyed the Merrimac to keep it from the grasp of advancing Union troops. So, what is the topic? During the Civil War, the first battle using ironclads, fought on March 9, 1862, saw the North's Monitor defeating the South's Merrimac and signaled the end of wooden warships. An ironclad is a metal warship. Warships prior to that were made of wood and obviously wouldn't stand up. The last one. Employers sometimes terminate employees due to poor job performance, negative attitude towards work and coworkers, or misconduct, such as dishonesty or sexual harassment. Terminating poor performers is necessary because they lower productivity and employee morale. Good workers resent employees who receive the same pay and benefits as themselves without contributing fairly to the company's work. But employers need to document reasons for terminating employees carefully. Complaints of wrongful dismissal are often involved in complaints filed by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC. Besides poor performance, reasons for terminating employees include downsizing and outsourcing. All right, so here's our paragraph. You can read it again, obviously not with a partner, but I want you to answer. What is the topic of this paragraph? Okay, so what did the author tell you about termination? And here they are. Employers terminate employees for different reasons. It is important that employers terminate poor employees, and employers should document the reasons for termination. All right. So where you would go from here is to actually write a topic sentence that encompassed all of those details. And here it would be. Termination of employees is done by employers for many reasons and should be carefully documented. Hopefully hopefully that has clarified some things about finding the main idea. You'll be doing your main idea assignment and underlining passages of paragraphs. Remember, you're looking at the beginning first, at the end second, in the middle third, and if there's just nothing there, then you are going through this last exercise. What is the author talking about? Termination of employees, and then what are they trying to tell me? After that, and then past that point, you write your own topic sentence and you're good to go.